Is your energy low? Are you tired of being tired? Are you exhausted all the time? Are you just watching the kids play while you're sitting on the bench? Friends, it's time for you to get your energy back. If you are ready, then hang with me and hear me out, because I am about to expose the fifth energy killer. So if you're new, then the last 4 weeks, this is week 5, the last 4 weeks we have been going over silent energy killers, things that we don't typically think of as killing our energy, zapping us. Your energy can be fixed, and these are tips that I use to fix my energy. So the fifth energy killer that we're going to discuss today is mold. Believe it or not, mold is an energy killer. So most of us are dealing with a little bit of mold in our houses here and there. We find mold on our windows or in our drains or different places. And we blow it off because it's so common. And it's so true, friends, because did you know that the statistics say that about over 70% of our homes in the U.S. have mold in them? They're moldy. They're moldy with, and I'm not just saying like mold, like, I feel like a lot of us belittle mold, but mold is toxic. Do you know what mold is doing to our bodies? Why it's considered an energy killer? Because mold accumulates within the body. It's sticky. So when you breathe it in, when it gets on your skin, it gets into the body and it sticks and it sits there. It doesn't just flow out the other end. Not to be too gross, but mold gets sticky and it accumulates and it likes to find friends and it sticks more to each other and it grows and it colonizes inside your body. And so it eventually then destroys you at the cellular level. But here's the thing. Mold causes symptoms that we consider normal in the United States. And I want to challenge you to never consider a symptom as normal. Consider it as your body is trying to tell you something. Your body's trying to tell you a message. It's saying, I have an important message for you. I have an important message for you. That's what these symptoms are, friends. So they're not to be taken lightly at all. And unfortunately, in the American medical system, you don't get noticed until you are so sick that you actually have a diagnosis. Your blood work has to be so bad that you get that diagnosis, or you have to have symptoms so bad that you have to get a diagnosis. But I want to show you that if you take note of these symptoms, you can figure out what's going on with you before you are bedridden, before you have a diagnosis. That's the best, because it's so much easier to heal yourself at that point. It's so much easier to go to the next level in your health at that point. So, hear me out. I want to give some symptoms of what initial mold toxicity looks like, and you're going to be blown away. You are not going to realize that these are mold symptoms. So, the beginning signs of you becoming toxic with mold: headaches, runny nose, tearing eyes, bedwetting. If your child is beyond the age that they should be wetting the bed, you have mold. You have mold. I took my daughter to doctor after doctor trying to figure this out. It was mold. As soon as we took care of the mold issue, she healed. She stopped wetting the bed. So just a nugget, because I know that's a frustration to a lot of parents. Anxiety and just being tired. Just tired. Okay, so then if you stay in that mold, it's gradually going to turn into symptoms like migraines, chronic sinus issues. I know so many people have had to have sinus surgeries because of sinus issues. More than likely, that's because of mold exposure. Cough, brain fog, confusion, ADD, ADHD, UTIs, weight gain. Some of you can't lose the weight, not because you're not trying hard enough, but because of mold. It blocks up your lymphatic system, and so you can't detoxify. And so you just accumulate water, toxins, all of that stuff. So consider getting out of the mold. Muscle loss, depression, irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. And now it's turned into exhausted. You're completely exhausted. Okay, and then suddenly, we're finally recognized as having issues, and we're diagnosed. So diagnoses that come from mold exposure, from toxic mold exposure, and all mold is toxic, but I want to make sure that you understand toxic mold exposure. Cancer. Did you know most of the biopsies, if they test for what's inside the biopsy, they find mold? Autoimmune disease. All of them have links back to mold. Now, not every autoimmune disease is caused by mold, but mold causes autoimmune disease. Fibromyalgia. That's also now being called an autoimmune disease. So, I mean, it could be, but most of us don't think of it as an autoimmune disease. But yeah, fibromyalgia, it's getting into, mold has gotten into the fascia and causing major pain. Oh my goodness, fibromyalgia hurts so bad. It's causing major pain throughout the body. You're not, it's not all in your head. It's not. Mold is a serious issue. And then hormonal imbalance, or even as far as hormonal destruction. Okay, so again, mold is sticky. It accumulates and accumulates and accumulates within your body. I can't say that enough. Mold has to be taken seriously. If you see mold growth, if you smell a mildew smell, you go on vacation, you come back and your house smells mildewy, that's mold. You have toxic mold in your house. It is making you fat. It's making you sick. It's making your brain not work right. It's causing those health issues. So major things have to be done to get this restored. Either going through a proper renovation program or whatever it takes. But you've got to get out of a moldy living environment. You can't heal while being in mold. You've got to get out. So here's the problem with mold. I just listed some of the symptoms that mold can cause. It expresses itself differently in everyone. That is the biggest problem. I want to share with you what it looked like in my family. Okay? So, my husband had absolutely no issues. And you know what? That seems so common. The husband doesn't feel it, doesn't have issues, doesn't express any issues. It seems so common, and I think it's partially because we need someone strong to pull the family through, but it also sometimes makes it harder on the wife because she doesn't get the help she needs, because he doesn't understand. So husbands, if you're listening, or if you are the one that doesn't have any symptoms and the rest of your family does, take it seriously. It happens. Sometimes you are not going to feel the effects of mold. Not everyone is. So my husband was over here not having any issues. I was nearly bedbound. I had rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, the starts of lupus and multiple sclerosis, where I was being watched for those, hypothyroidism. I lost all of my natural hormones. My hormones completely tanked. And food sensitivities. I could only eat about 4 foods that didn't make me sick. And it was found that I had cancer. So one extreme to the other. And then my kids, my son, he had personality changes. He was not the same kid that he was when he was 2. My 2-year-old son was very just gentle and calm and really good with fine motor skills and very organized, and suddenly he lost that. We noticed in about 3rd grade, and unfortunately his school was extremely moldy too, and we noticed he was losing his fine motor skills. He became more like ADD, ADHD. We didn't have him tested because I was starting to figure out what was going on and starting to work with fixing the issue. But he was confused. He became argumentative. He got poor grades in school, or suddenly got poor grades in school. It just kind of happened overnight that he started getting bad grades, couldn't think clearly, was confused, and then he became sensitive to foods. We had to start taking foods out of his diet because they were making him sick. My daughter, she was still wetting the bed at age 12. Again, that's not normal. That is a huge sign that you have mold. She was getting frequent UTIs. She was depressed. She developed vitiligo. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but the autoimmune disease where you lose your color in your skin. And it actually stopped once we detoxed her, got her out of the situation and detoxed her. She actually stopped. It didn't continue to grow. Acne, terrible periods, dizzy, stomach aches, food sensitivities. This was her entire life, friends. I kept taking her from doctor to doctor. What is going on? Why is she always vomiting? Why does she always have a stomach ache? And none of them couldn't figure it out. They couldn't find answers. And no solutions worked until we got her out of the mold. We dealt with the mold issue. Not only that, it affected our pets. Our pets were greatly affected. So while we were living in this home, we had 2 cats and 4 dogs. All of them died prematurely, except for one, my Yorkie. And my Yorkie happened to be doing some of the detox protocols that I was doing. So it kind of makes sense. So he lived until he was a month short of being 15. So it affects the pets too. Actually, they say pets are more sensitive to mold. They even use dogs to find mold because they're so sensitive to mold. So you're probably wondering what we did to deal with the mold. And first, we renovated our home. We dealt with all the mold that we can find. Not properly because we're super ignorant at the time. There's proper ways to deal with the mold. But we dealt with the mold. We renovated. And then from there, we did choose to move. because even though it seemed clean and everything, I was so sick, and the family was so traumatized that and the school that the kids were in was moldy, and so we needed to find a new school for them, and we needed to get a fresh start. So we did end up moving, but first we renovated the home and took care of the issues that we found. But what if your house is clean? How do you protect your house from getting moldy? Again, like I said, 70%, it's estimated that over 70% of the homes are moldy. So it's important that we're looking at strategies to prevent mold, because if our homes, if the percentage is estimated that high, there's some factors in there that seem a little bit wrong. For instance, after some research, I found that most of the products that are used to build our houses are prone to mold. Like the backside of the drywall. Did you know mold can grow back there? And it happens to be like one of mold's favorite foods to grow or to feast on. And so it grows really easily when moisture is exposed to the backside of the drywall. So we have to go into this knowing that our homes are prone to mold. So what do? These are my favorite strategies for preventing mold. So monitor the humidity levels throughout the home using humidity trackers. So I have one in my basement, I have one on my main floor, I have a couple upstairs. I have them spread throughout the house. You want to make sure that different rooms have humidity trackers in there, because you want to make sure that the mold is less than 50%, because anything higher is perfect amount of moisture for mold to grow. So you want to keep it below 50%. And next, you need to have a dehumidifier that pulls the moisture out of the air, and so that you're keeping the air below 50%. And we have a single unit that we have in our basement, and it works throughout the entire house. You can strategically place one on each level if you want to. Whatever it takes to keep your levels, according to the monitors, below 50%. So you need the monitors and you need the dehumidifier. Not a humidifier, a dehumidifier. Okay, this is a big one. Never open your windows with humidity levels greater than 50% outside. Always check your weather tracker. It's so easy nowadays on our phones. Always check your weather tracker. It can't be greater than 50% because you don't want the humidity to come inside. You're already doing enough to protect your house. You don't need to bring it in. So keep your windows closed if humidity levels are above 50%. And here in Michigan, it most frequently is. It's rarely below 50%. If you're in Florida, it's rarely going to be below 50%. But if you're in Arizona, you'll probably see that all the time. Okay. You need a UV light on your furnace. It needs to be installed into your furnace above your AC coils so that it can kill any mold that grows on the AC coils as the air conditioner is shutting on and off, because in those periods where it turns off, there's moisture that develops, and that's a perfect place for mold to grow. And then it's really bad because it's in your furnace and it's spewing out through your entire house. So prevent that mold growth by putting a UV light over your furnace or over your AC coils in your furnace. And then you want a heavy duty air filtering system that is able to pull out mold. I think it's like a MERV 16 that you need for your filters, at least that the number 16, because that can pull mold spores out of the air as the furnace is working. Now, we personally installed an Aprilaire filter system that it's like 6 inches thick, and it's special for pulling mold out. But if that's not something you're able to do, then purchase a personal air filter, room air filter system. IQ Air makes really good ones to prevent mold. From what I'm told, I don't have one, but that's been recommended in the mold community as one of the best. So IQ Air. And then I love this one. It's so simple, so easy, but it's been found to, people are using antifungal essential oils to kill mold. And I love it because it smells so amazing. So what you're doing is you're taking an essential oil that is antifungal, and you're putting in a diffuser underneath your cold air intake. So mine happens to be in my dining room, and so I have the essential oil diffuser sitting right there, so it can be pulled into the furnace and everything, and those antifungal essential oils are helping to kill any extra mold potential in the air. And so I absolutely love it. Some examples would be like peppermint or cinnamon, clove, oregano, lemon, rosemary. Those are some really great examples of antifungal essential oils. So those are, if you mix them together, like you get the clove and the cinnamon, and kind of smells Christmassy and sweet and kind of desserty, and oh, it's so amazing. So in your bathroom exhaust fan needs to be at least 100 CFMs. If it's less than that, it's not strong enough to pull the moisture out of the air to prevent mold. So this was a big aha moment this winter for my husband and I. And we realized, we need to update our fans, because we realized they're only like 40 or 50 CFMs. I don't remember exactly, but they're really, really low. And it's my understanding that if you live in a home a neighborhood where all the homes look pretty much the same, they're all built by one builder, and the builder just builds them really fast, generally they put very low quality bathroom fans in. So you need to get 100 CFM bathroom fan or higher to pull the moisture out and prevent mold from your bathroom. And then while we're in the bathroom, you want to monitor the shower drains for mold. Mold accumulates in those shower drains. We have to clean ours probably weekly. It's important that you keep those clean and prevent that mold growth. And then go under your sinks. All of your sinks, make sure there's no leaks. If there's leaks on those sinks, oftentimes it's like a plyboard or something. Mold grows like that. So you want to keep that moisture free. You want to keep, if you have a leak, you want to change out that base, because that is prime breeding grounds for mold. Dust frequently. Dust and mold mix together to expand the mold. Mold loves to feed on dust. So dust frequently. And then simply open your curtains every day, especially in the winter time. If you leave your curtains closed, there's moisture is prone to grow on the windows, and then mold grows there. So open your windows, your curtains every day. Let light in. Light kills mold. It helps to kill the mold growth. It helps to freshen things up. So open your curtains. And so those are my favorite tips for maintaining a mold-free home. And if you need energy, be sure to go back to the last several weeks on the other tips that we talked about on YouTube or in the Made to Heal Facebook group. Check it out and find out how you can increase your energy naturally, because it's possible. So if you are exposed to mold, because like I previously mentioned, mold is sticky. It accumulates within your body. It doesn't just easily come out. It needs to be pulled out. So you need to take a binder. Because again, mold accumulates and accumulates until it attacks you at the cellular level. So it's literally slowly killing you. So you've got to get it pulled out. So you need a really strong binder. Unfortunately, most binders require a doctor, the strong binders require doctor prescription. And so one of the best, or the best, without a doctor's prescription is chlorella, but not just any chlorella, because most chlorella is not strong enough to pull the mold out. That was a tongue twister for some reason. So chlorella from Energy Bits, one of the reasons I absolutely love it is it's strong enough to pull mold out of the body without, here's the catch, most binders pull the nutrients out too. You don't want that. If you've been exposed to mold, your body is already suffering. You need your immune system to be strong. You need the nutrients to actually get into the body. So you don't want to be pulling them out. So chlorella from Energy Bits does not pull out the nutrients, but it does pull out the toxins from your body. And so it's super easy strategy for detoxifying the mold. And it's so healing too, because it allows you to have the nutrients, and it actually includes nutrients because it's a food source. It's a God-made food source. But most chlorellas are just not made right. And so Energy Bits chlorella is absolutely awesome. So go to my bio, and actually I'll try to put the link below, but use code Angela G and you'll get 20%. And it's not just one time, it's every single time if you use that code. So save yourself some money and buy the best chlorella out there and heal. It's time to heal. It's time to reclaim your energy. It's time to detoxify. It's time to heal. I don't just settle for getting sicker and sicker and sicker. We don't need to accumulate symptoms. We need to keep our energy. So that's my favorite healing binder for mold. Okay. Oh, and here's a bonus. It's really great for excellent sleep. It helps you sleep so well. So I love it. I only share the supplements and products that worked for me, that were proven for me. I only share those ones, friends. I don't share things that didn't work, unless I'm like warning you that, hey, this is not an effective product. But I'm never going to advise you to take a product if it doesn't work. So I search for the best, I search for the cleanest, I search for the highest quality, and in Energy Bits chlorella and their spirulina, top quality. So also in the links below, I'm going to add, I wrote a ebook that tells you how to properly clean mold, because you can't throw bleach on it. I know. If you Google search it, how to clean mold, they're going to tell you use bleach. But don't use bleach, friends. Do not use bleach on mold. Here's what it does. It bleaches it from its color. it does not kill it. So it's just as toxic to you. And actually it's more toxic because bleach and mold equal chemical warfare. Like literally those two products are used for chemical warfare. So don't use bleach on mold. There's special, inexpensive, super inexpensive, probably have them in your house, products to use on mold. So grab the ebook with the link in the notes for learning how to clean mold properly. Take care of it forever, friends. So I hope you learned some excellent tips. I know you learned some excellent tips. I hope you implement these new strategies. At least pick one to keep your home mold-free, to keep your living space mold-free. These are so easy. Yes, some of them cost money, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Your health is worth it, friends. So you are made to heal. You don't need to stay sick. Those symptoms that you're having, your body is telling you something. They're a gift. Don't cover up. Don't mask up those symptoms. They are a gift. So take them as a gift and figure out what they're telling you and use that to heal yourself, because you can heal. Your body is meant to heal. You aren't meant to just, okay, we don't just keel over and die instantly. We suffer and then die if we're not living a healthy lifestyle. So health is a choice, and so many healthy people just suddenly go. They just go in their sleep, or it just suddenly go. But sickly death, we all die, yes, but a sickly death is painful, torturous, and it's our choice. It's our choice. So mold is one of those things that's not put out there very often. Not many people have come to this realization of what mold actually does. So you've got it now, friends. If you stuck with me for this long, for this last half hour, you've got it. And take this information and heal yourself. Have a beautiful week.